Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me today, and thank you for accommodating our change in schedule. I decided to go and be a son for a couple of days, so always check on mom. So thank you all so much. First off, I'm very happy to announce that the applications for the Savannah Youth Council and the Savannah Youth Ambassadors Program are open. For over 30 years now, I've worked with youth in this community, and many of you know that I have a long history in governmental youth engagement programs. I've worked with the Chatham County Youth Commission for nearly 30 years. The funny part about that is that the young people I mentored as 9th and 10th graders are now in their 40s. Have children of their own and making their ways across the world. The Savannah Youth Council, I co-founded with Mayor Van Johnson in 2004. So we're at our 20th anniversary this year. We're very excited about that. Again, these young people are now in their 30s. And they, again, doing wonderful things. Our succession here in Savannah is tied to our success. And so we don't expect that leaders are grown, they're made. And so we have to expose them in much younger ages. And so this is how we are able to do that in the governmental space. There are still very honorable professions in government. We have to build our own bench. And so if you're in the 9th or 12th grade and you attend a Savannah, Chatham County public, private, parochial school, you can sign up for the Savannah Youth Ambassadors Program, and you can go to savannahga.gov/SYA apply. savannahga.gov/SYA apply. The Savannah Youth Council provides 8th graders an opportunity to learn about their government. And you can't love what you don't know anything about. So we create an opportunity for them to love their city because they learn about their city. Students must be in the 8th grade, and they must attend a Savannah, Chatham County public or private school. And so you can apply for the Savannah Youth Council at savannahga.gov/SYC apply, SYC apply. We have a certain number, a finite number of applications, positions, and so we'll accept applications until they're filled. Of course, we prioritize young people that live in the city of Savannah. This is a Savannah program, and so we prioritize young people in Savannah. We also accept homeschool students if you live in the city of Savannah. And so I look forward to continuing to grow another generation of young leaders of this city and, of course, our nation. I would also like to remind everyone that registration for this year's Mayor Small Business Conference is now open. We encourage business owners and present and aspiring entrepreneurs to register at savannahga.gov/MSBC, savannahga.gov/MSBC. The Mayor Small Business Conference has been a success in many years, and we have grown so large that we have now partnered with other advocates and have tripled the size of this conference, tripled it. And so we want to see small businesses in Savannah win. My administrations have been focused on understanding, recognizing the fact that small businesses drive Savannah. And so our city has designated many tools in our toolbox to help small businesses thrive and survive. And through our dedicated work in our economic development department, we have put a lot of energy, effort in supporting our small business economy. And so there's a lot happening during that week, and I encourage folks who are interested to register early. Don't wait till the last minute, because once our seats are filled, registration is closed. And we had that problem last year at a much smaller conference that people wanted to get in. You waited till the last day. I'm sorry, you can't get in. So registration is open until April the 22nd or until all seats are filled. I understand that seats are filling fast. About half of the seats are already filled, so register as soon as possible. And a registration form can be found at savannahga.gov/MSBC, savannahga.gov/MSBC. And I'm hoping that you'll leave here and you'll join me at 2 o'clock today for a very special unveiling. The City of Savannah, along with our partners at the Georgia Historical Society, will unveil a new historical marker at the Martin Molen Building and Bryan School. We are excited again as we move forward in uncovering history to be raising a marker to honor some very important history in our city. The Martin Molen Building and the Bryan School marker will recognize the importance of the site's history. Built between 1855 and 1856, the Martin Molen Building originally acted as a slave brokerage until it was confiscated during the Civil War by the United States government, and it was given to Savannah's African American community. And so they would go on to establish Bryan School, one of Georgia's first legal black schools. And so I hope you'll join us at City Market near 23 Barnett Street at 2 o'clock p.m. as we unveil this very important historical marker. And on Friday, this Friday at 2 p.m., the city will celebrate with Alderman Dietrich Leggett and I the renovation of Forsyth Park's basketball courts. This was a nearly $190,000 project, which completely refaced a decades-old basketball court with new infrastructure, including backboards, rims, fencing, and a new playing surface. We noticed it's a very heavily used court. I used to go out there regularly and serve everybody out there who wanted to get beat. And now it's time to go ahead and restore it back to its former glory. And so we've done that. And this is an incredible project. And it's a part of our Recreation Reimagine initiative, which aims to enrich the lives of residents with high-quality recreation experiences. And so we're excited about this. We will officially dedicate one of the most popular basketball courts in the city. I might even go ahead and lace up for anybody who wants to try me. It's been a little while, so I might be a little rusty, but if you're willing to come out and be embarrassed by the mayor, I'm more than willing to do that. My three-point game is like Caitlin Clark deadly. So I can shoot from like the fountain and hit all the way over there. So you won't see it unless you come and see it. So, but come and join us this Friday at 2 o'clock p.m. And then on Saturday, another exciting event in the city of Savannah, a lot happening here on the west side of our city, and we'll be cutting the ribbon on the completion of a new public park and pedestrian mural outside of our beloved in-market arena this Saturday, and we will celebrate with a free event beginning at 10 o'clock a.m. We'll have food, music, activities, fun, games, fresh produce, inflatable bounce houses, and slap shot cage organized by the Savannah Ghost Pirates and manned by Davey, the Ghost Pirate. And around 11 o'clock, the dedication will be held for the largest pedestrian mural in Georgia, which was created by 5 different mural groups comprised of Savannah artists. And this will be a great event celebrating our West Side and this new incredible space. And we hope everybody will join us. That's this Saturday, April the 13th from 10 to 1, just outside of the in-market arena. And tomorrow is Council Day. And so we have another fun agenda, a lot of great work to do. Our first meeting of the month of April at 11 o'clock, we will hold a workshop to start the day. We will hear from our Office of Special Events, Film and Tourism, who will present the proposal for a new tourism ordinance that will address specifically tourism service vehicles. We have said that we were going to continue to work on issues of livability and how we balance livability in a very busy urban tourist area, and so we are working towards that. We'll have a closed executive session to discuss issues of litigation, personnel, and real estate, and then we'll have a update of the agenda from the city manager. At 2 o'clock, we have our regular meeting, and a lot of things going on. We'll have representatives from my task force, ARCs, Advocates for Restorative Communities of Savannah, who will receive a proclamation from me declaring April 2024 as Second Chance Month in Savannah. We know we have a lot of individuals that return home from jails and prisons in our state. We know that second to Fulton County, Chatham County receives the most people coming home. How we address people returning home from jails and prisons will determine how they do going forward. If we set them up to be successful, they will be successful. If they come back to a community that's not willing to receive them, they go back to what they know. And so we all deserve second chances, and so this is a collaborative effort aimed at providing avenues for rehabilitation, empowerment, and successful reintegration into society for those that are justice impacted and those that are justice involved. So I'm excited for the second annual ARCS Welcome Home Conference. This is April the 24th. And I invite everyone who is justice involved or justice impacted or related to someone who is justice involved or justice impacted to join us from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. You can register for the conference at savannahga.gov/reentry conference. savannahga.gov/reentry conference. We want to welcome folks home. We will also have representatives from the Live Oak Public Libraries to receive a proclamation from me declaring April 7th to April 15th as National Library Week, and as I declare Savannah as a book sanctuary city. We also have representatives of the Gamma Sigma Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, who will receive a proclamation from me declaring April 11th as AKA Black Maternal Health Day in Savannah. And we'll have a presentation from our employee engagement team to recognize the 2023 City of Savannah Employee of the Year. And we will have the required presentation of the 2023 139th Administration City of Savannah Accomplishments Report. In our charter, it says annually that the city manager will present a report. It happens in the form of a budget, but we're going to actually formally present that to council. Following that, many people are talking about our new proposed ordinance to reduce firearm thefts by adding 2 new offenses to our code of offenses. Number 1, all firearm owners and dealers will be required to report their theft of a firearm to the Savannah Police Department. The Savannah Police Department will be required to record and maintain unique identifying information pertaining to each firearm, rifle, or shotgun reported stolen. And secondly, all persons traveling with firearms in their vehicles will be required to responsibly store them in locked compartments while the vehicle is parked. Owners may not allow guns to be visible while parked, and all vehicles containing firearms must be fully locked when not in operation. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking about this since August of last year. The data is absolutely clear. Of the 244 firearms stolen from vehicles in Savannah in 2023, 203 of them were from vehicles that were unlocked. So essentially 203 vehicles had a sign that says, "I'm a gun, come steal me." And so, as mayor of this city, I have the responsibility for public safety. We are employing a variety of opportunities, both from the social and behavioral space, through our ONES office, through our behavioral health unit to address issues of violence. We are working with various nonprofits to deal with issues of domestic violence. But at some point, you have to deal with the instrument of the violence. And so let's be very clear, and I want you all to read my lips. This does not infringe on anyone's Second Amendment rights, nor does it infringe upon any part of state law. As a gun owner and as a gun carrier, nothing changes in my life. But it does say that with that right to carry a firearm comes the responsibility to properly store and secure a firearm. With that right comes a responsibility. And so for folks that want to say we're taking guns, no, just secure your guns. You have the responsibility to do so in the name of public safety, and that is what I'm asking our citizens to do. We have to get that number down. This year, we're already at 60 some odd guns stolen, and a significant number of those stolen from unlocked vehicles. So obviously, we're not getting the point. And so I don't want to make an example out of somebody, but we will. And so I'm hoping the council will address this unanimously. You go where the data takes us. And so the data takes us to be able to address this as a part of our overall public safety initiative. And so that is what we are going to do. Council will also hear one alcohol license hearing for a Class C alcohol license and for Sunday sales, and a Class A caterer license for the Flora and Fauna restaurant. We will consider a petition from the Farm Starland Properties for a special use permit to establish a new restaurant at the corner of Bull and 40th Street. Under purchasing items, we have 9 separate items requesting approval from the city manager, including a contract for a parking study to evaluate the current parking situation and develop strategies to optimize parking in the area from Liberty Street to Victory Drive, north and south, and Martin Luther King to East Broad, west to east. We will also seek approval and adoption of the vision statement of prior councils that we discussed during our recent visioning session, that Savannah will be a safe, environmentally healthy, and economically thriving community for all of its citizens. And we will also define equity. For those of you that attended our visioning session, for us, a lot of the conversation centered around equity. Equity within the organization and equity outside the organization. How do we provide services? How do we provide customer service? And so in order to do that, we need to set the vision and direction about equity and define what that means. So I'm asking council to set that as the bar for the next 4 years. We will also look at accepting an Innovation and Opportunity Act grant in the amount of $400,000, which will be used to provide training and supportive services to adults who are unemployed or underemployed. And we will also consider an extension under real estate to consider an extension to the Georgia Coastal Center to retain our city offices there for the next 5 years. Finally, we have a settlement from the city attorney and the approval of a major subdivision. To find the full agenda for Thursday's meeting, visit savannahga.gov, and you can watch the meetings live on our Facebook page, or of course on our award-winning SGTV. You can also watch the meeting live streamed at savannahga.gov, and of course you can join us right here in person in council chambers. We always love having you here. And so that ends my prepared remarks. Now I'll entertain any questions you may have. And if you're on Mayor Johnson SAV, You're welcome to ask a question. Ms. Ariel is here monitoring it. If you have questions, we'll be happy to take your questions. So,
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor.
how are you, sir?
Very well, thank you. I want to take you a little bit off topic and talk about something that's coming up on Tybee with Orange Crush. I know as a young man that you were a participant.
Yes.
I know you've dealt with it a lot over the last 20 years. I'm sure you're aware of some of the measures they're planning to take next week, and I wondered what your take was on it and what does the city of Savannah need to be ready for in terms of Orange Crush?
Well, you're right, and you're getting into my history. I was one of the founding group of Orange Crush. Remember it very distinctly. I was there as a much younger man because we wanted to create a college opportunity for young people in our community. And colleges, coming up, I wasn't as settled as I was now, and we traveled the country. We did spring breaks. We went to Daytona. We would go to Miami. We would go to Virginia Beach. We would go to Myrtle Beach. We would go to Freaknik. I'm not in the documentary, by the way. I looked. I was scared that I might have ended up in the documentary, but I'm not in the documentary, thank the Lord. And thank the Lord there was not social media back in those days. So for us, the first couple of years was very good. It was college students. And so we had college fun. Different elements started to attend those things, and it got off the rails. Orange Crush is the name of it. We called it Orange Crush to be affiliated with Savannah State. It needs to be said very clearly, this event has not been affiliated with Savannah State in many years. Without getting too much involved in the politics of it all, Tybee is a public beach. It was called Savannah Beach at one time. Public access is important. And, there is a responsibility in my mind, just as we do for our festivals, to prepare for the festivals. We know St. Patrick's Day is coming. We know a lot of people come. We prepare for it. We prepare for it. We come up with traffic plans. We come up with cleanliness plans. Obviously, you see a mess that's left here. We clean it up. That's the price of doing tourism business. Likewise, there is a responsibility of people to conduct themselves in a legal and orderly way. I've gone down on Tybee Island during Orange Crush-ish events since, and I saw what I felt was a overwhelming show of force that I did not necessarily see for some of the other events there. I thought it was a overrepresentation of police because when you have overrepresentation of police, you have an overrepresentation of policing. And so it was difficult that everything that happened on that island that day was attributed to Orange Crush. I just refuse to believe that. I would have thought, for me, and this is just me, I have not spoken to the mayor or anybody at Tybee Island. If it was me, I would have taken the event over. I would have taken it over, and I would have owned it, and I would have situated it, and we would have created opportunities for space and parking and manage that rather than someone coming in and managing it now. The fact is, people are going to come anyway. They're going to come, and so now you have folks coming, and what do you do with them? And so in Savannah, of course, they have to come through Savannah to get to Tybee. We know they're coming. We prepare for it. We prepare for it. We address it. It's a part of the cost of doing business in a community that makes a lot of money off tourism. These folks come, young people come, they spend money in our communities. And so I think, I think you welcome them. You welcome them. You insist that they respect your community, but you have them come in and enjoy themselves. It's unfortunate that it's kind of taken this way now that there's a state law that now addresses really this particular thing. But again, I'm Bennett, I'm not in it. But, given what it was, many years ago to what it is now, is a little disheartening.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. 2 questions for you. Can you give an update on what could be built on the old Savannah Fairgrounds property? And 2, are you able to speak to the renewed push to build affordable senior housing on the property? And if so, where are you in the process?
We are in the final stages of completing a development agreement. I did understand that there was some type of rumor going around, and again, we don't really deal in rumors, we deal in fact. The fairgrounds is still a viable project to including senior housing, and so we're moving forward on that. So we're hoping to have an update and a development agreement for the city manager to sign and council to approve. So we're moving as we are moving, and I'm hoping to get this done and get it out the way. So we've committed to it. We said we're going to do it. We're still headed toward in that direction. No detours. Thank you.
Just to follow up on that, following the passage of the purchase and sale agreement about a year ago, it said that a development agreement would be drawn up within 90 days of the execution of that PSA. So
it didn't happen.
Why not?
Because you have to come up with an agreement. Development agreement, you have to agree. So you have a purchase and sale agreement, you have a development agreement. These are issues that have to be worked out, some financial, some legal, some in the planning process. And so if it's not right, we're not going to sign a development agreement for the purposes of expediency. This is a major project. It's a major project that will impact this community for years to come. It has to be right. And so we hope to have signed it in 90 days. It didn't happen. It's been quite a while. But we're not going to sign it or enter into a development agreement until it crosses all the T's and dots all the I's. So as far as I'm concerned, my direction to the city manager was get it right, make sure it's right, and don't bring it to us until it's right. And so we are, again, I think we're very, very close now, and I'm hoping to have that done soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
Regarding the Ogeechee fire still burning, does it pose any health risks to people living or working nearby, the smoke?
We have not heard of any health effects at this point. We do know that our fire department and the health officials are monitoring that. And I have not heard of anything regarding health effects in there. Obviously, you don't want fires burning, but it's still burning. So I don't know. I really don't.
Is it costing the city any extra money or resources, and have we had to reach out to other fire departments?
To my understanding, we are handling this ourselves. Obviously, we have the largest, best equipped, best trained fire department in the region, I would say the state. And so I think we're handling it in accordance with fire safety protocols. Again, we budget for this stuff throughout the course of the year. Fortunately for us, this is April and not November. We've budgeted for fire service. And so, if this takes on a large amount of resources to the point where we have to address other resources later on in the year, then, we'll move the money to address it. But right now, it's just a part of doing business. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a couple questions about the firearm ordinance. There was a draft ordinance, and then there was a final ordinance that's posted on City Council agenda. It looked like it was, maybe I misunderstood it, but it looked like it was altered in some ways, the final ordinance from the draft ordinance. There were 2 sections about Savannah Police tracking the firearms that looked like they were removed from the final ordinance. And then the final ordinance seemed to leave out the word locked and replace the word parked with the word unoccupied. So I just kind of want to get an understanding of, where those changes made.
Yeah, I do not have the slightest idea. We're looking at it. We'll follow up. It's not a final ordinance until council approves it. So everything up until that point is a draft. So I don't know. I have not seen it. So I don't know, but we'll follow up.
Okay.
Nick, so Nick will respond to you directly, but
Thank you.
all right. Thank you. That's it? You had only one question about that? You said you had a couple of questions. Oh, man, come on, man. I thought you were going to ask me some questions. I was ready. All right, any other questions? All right, we have any questions from Mayor Johnson, SAV? We do? No questions? You sure? Huh? Oh, what's the question? I don't take anybody's self-defense away. He needs to stop asking that question because I've answered it 1,000 times. I support responsible gun rights and gun ownership. As a former law enforcement officer and as a firearm carrier, I do not believe you could just stand your ground and shoot people because you want to. And so I'm sorry that we have repealed Stand Your Ground in Georgia. Sorry you didn't like it. I support repealing Stand Your Ground because I think there should be a duty to retreat. I've answered that question for you 10,000 times, and so I believe there should be a duty to retreat. I believe there should be a duty to retreat. Last time, I believe that there should be a duty to retreat. And so that's why I supported the repealing of the Stand Your Ground law in Georgia. If you can avoid trouble, avoid confrontations, you should be able to do that at all costs. If you can't do that, then you have the right to defend yourself. So, any other questions? All right. Thank you all so much. We're looking forward to seeing you at 2 o'clock. And the rain is going to hold up until we get finished. So, thank you all. Thank you for being Savannah Strong.